My name is Julian Mercer, I'm 32, and I never thought I'd be the kind of guy to get petty revenge on my in-laws, but when someone tries to poison you, all bets are off. I'm an independent photographer based in Asheville, North Carolina, and I'm married into a family that never truly accepted me. My wife, Ellie, is incredible, funny, smart, loyal, but her mother, Linda, she's a different species altogether. From day one, she acted like I was some gold-digging loser freeloading off her daughter's success, even though I had a steady business and a bigger income than Ellie at the time. She always threw snide comments at family gatherings about real men with 9 to 5 jobs and stable benefits, never mind that I was booking six-figure wedding gigs and getting my work featured in galleries. But it wasn't until last month's family dinner that I realized just how far Linda was willing to go to get rid of me. We were all sitting around the table at her place, me, Ellie, her dad Greg, her younger brother Kyle and his girlfriend, and of course, Linda. The wine was flowing, the food was great, and for once, things actually felt civil. Then I noticed Linda in the kitchen, alone, pouring something from a tiny vial into one of the wine glasses. She looked around to make sure no one was watching, but she didn't see me in the reflection of the microwave. She swirled the glass gently, walked back out with a fake smile, and placed it right in front of my plate. "Special cocktail for my favorite son-in-law," she said sweetly. The moment she turned her back, I calmly reached across the table and swapped it with the glass in front of her husband, Greg. He was too busy arguing with Kyle about politics to notice. I didn't know what she put in the drink, but I knew it wasn't something you offer with love. I played along, smiled at Linda, and raised my new glass like nothing happened. About 45 minutes later, Greg excused himself, saying he wasn't feeling great. At first, nobody paid attention. But when he didn't come back after 20 minutes, Kyle went to check on him and found him half passed out in the upstairs bathroom. Sweating, pale, and barely coherent. Ellie jumped up to help while I stood there, letting Linda dig her own grave. She looked panicked and asked someone to call an ambulance. The whole room was tense, and when the EMTs arrived, they mentioned his vitals were off, low blood pressure, weak pulse. That's when I spoke up. I said, "We might want to let them know what he drank." Someone poured something extra into one of the glasses. Everyone looked at me like I'd grown two heads, but Linda's face turned ghost white. I stared her dead in the eye and added, "It was supposed to be mine." But I switched it. There was dead silence. Ellie looked at her mom and asked if it was true. Linda stuttered, tried to deny it, but her hands were shaking and her words made no sense. Ellie pulled me aside and whispered, "You're serious, aren't you?" I nodded once. She didn't say anything else, but her jaw clenched so tight I thought her teeth might snap. The hospital confirmed Greg had been drugged with a mild sedative, not lethal, but dangerous, especially for someone with heart issues like him. The police got involved. I told them everything I saw and even mentioned the vial, but Linda had already flushed it before they arrived. Still, the suspicion was enough for them to keep her for questioning. Ellie was devastated, humiliated that her own mother had tried to poison her husband over some outdated resentment. Kyle didn't say a word, but his girlfriend looked ready to slap Linda right then and there. Over the next few days, the fallout was nuclear. Greg refused to come back home. He stayed at Kyle's place and told Ellie he'd suspected for years that Linda was manipulative, but he never thought she'd go that far. Ellie told her mom not to contact us again and cut her off completely. She moved out of Linda's family group chat, blocked her number, and told everyone she needed time to process what her own mother had done. Linda tried calling me to explain, but I blocked her too. Whatever she thought she was doing, she'd crossed a line there was no coming back from. But it didn't end there. About 2 weeks later, I got a call from a reporter. Turns out Linda was being investigated for trying to poison not just me, but potentially other guests at previous events. Greg apparently had stomach issues after 3 separate family dinners over the years, and this time, it clicked. She'd been trying to fix things in her own twisted way for years. Ellie was mortified, but also relieved. She said, "I always felt like she had some darkness in her, but I never thought she'd do something so evil." We've since gone completely no contact with her, and Ellie's been in therapy trying to rebuild her trust in people again. As for Greg, he's doing much better. He and I actually bonded over the whole thing. I even helped him set up a dating profile. He deserves someone who won't try to knock him out during Sunday roast. Sometimes revenge doesn't need fire and fury. Sometimes it's as simple as letting the poison reach the person who poured it, and letting them live with the consequences they tried to serve you.